We have another Target 12 investigators exclusive.
We've learned state officials ignored warning signs that a new high-priced computer system to manage social service benefits wasn't ready for launch.
The warnings came in two strongly worded letters from the federal government last month, but the state went ahead with the September 13th unveiling anyway.
And we've received numerous complaints about the benefit system from Eyewitness News viewers. Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell has been tracking the problems for weeks now and obtained these explosive letters.
She's live in studio with the exclusive details of what's in them.
Inadequate and unacceptable. Those are the words the federal government used to describe Rhode Island's plan to launch its new system. And that's not all we found in these letters we requested from the state.
I have black beans.
Ellen Reynolds depends on her SNAP benefits for food.
I was down to canned vegetables.
But at the beginning of the month, she discovered there was no money in her account.
It was a scary thought, though. When are we going to get this money? And what do I do in the meantime?
The Department of Human Services says an undetermined number of SNAP recipients faced similar issues because of a glitch in the state's new $364 million integrated benefits eligibility system.
But I still have to eat.
Now the Target 12 investigators have uncovered these letters from the federal government to DHS, sounding the alarm just before the state went live on September 13th. In a letter dated September 2nd, the USDA Food and Nutrition Service said DHS was going against the government's best advice and launching the system at its own risk. In the same letter, FNS accurately predicted problems including reduced program access, worker backlogs, delayed application processing, and untimely benefits. Then 4 days later, just a week before the system went live, another strong warning from the feds. Writing in a letter, the transition plan remains inadequate and unacceptable. But state officials have consistently defended the decision to go live. This exchange with the DHS director happened Wednesday.
Was the system rolled out too fast?
I think it was the right time.
In response to the letters we obtained, a spokesperson for the Department of Administration acknowledged the federal government's concern, but added at no time did they instruct us to stop the launch of the system on September 13th. As we've reported, the UHIP system was originally scheduled to launch in 2015 and was delayed multiple times. Coming up new at 6, what the letters reveal about long call wait times and customer service. With the Target 12 investigators, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
First, new details in a Target 12 consumer investigation. At 5, we uncovered strongly worded letters from the federal government to Rhode Island officials.
And the letters warn that a new high-priced computer system to manage social service benefits wasn't ready for launch, but the state moved ahead anyway. Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell joins us now with the details new at 6, including what the letters reveal about long call wait times and customer service. Susan?
According to these letters that we requested from the state, the federal government warned about backlogs, long call wait times, and long lines at DHS field offices. As we've reported over the past several weeks, all of those things have happened.
Dark red.
When Ellen Reynolds' SNAP benefits weren't deposited on time, she called the Department of Human Services to try to get some answers.
The first time I was put on hold, I was on hold for 2 hours and 10 minutes.
According to these letters uncovered by the Target 12 investigators, the federal government predicted those long waits would happen if the state ignored warnings about launching the benefit system on September 13th. In one letter sent just a week before the system went live, Kurt Messner, the regional administrator of the USDA's Food Nutrition Service, wrote, "Your communication plan is insufficient." Furthermore, FNS anticipates an increase in client wait times at the local offices and on available phone lines. Staffing remains a concern. In another letter, Messner criticized the state's lack of live testing, telling DHS launching a system without having conducted a live pilot is against the intent of the regulations and against our best advice. DHS proceeds with the deployment of UHIP at its own risk. The Target 12 investigators also obtained the state's response to FNS. They wrote, based on the results of the hybrid pilot, our staff training, outreach and contingency, and transition planning, we remain confident in our ability to launch the new eligibility system. One of the letters from the federal government says DHS could face penalties. A spokesperson for the state tells us that hasn't happened and added the state is working with its partners to try to meet requirements and avoid penalties.
Now, Susan, I know we've gotten a lot of reported emails from our viewers saying they're having trouble getting through to DHS. So if they're still having trouble getting their benefits, what can they do right now?
I asked the same question today, and it's not perfect advice. The best advice, though, is to just keep calling. The state tells me that they are trying to work through their issues as soon as they pop up.
All right, Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell, thank you very much. And the Target 12 investigators are always looking to uncover news. If you want to send a tip or report government waste, you can call our tip line at 228-1763 or email us at target12@wpri.com.